Hey, something just popped up on my Twitter feed. This may be worth playing for a second. Roy Lucier just retweeted this. It's a Spanish interview with Randy Macho Man Savage from 1986. So it has the WWF logo in the background with it.
I didn't even know Randy spoke Spanish.
Well, I don't think he's the one speaking Spanish, but it was for Spanish, the Spanish broadcast of WWF TV. Like, it's not Gene Okerlund. It's someone, I think it's Miguel Alonso, actually. But let's play this. You may get a kick out of this.
Have to talk different languages, even if it doesn't have to be specific, but in general, yeah, because I am the champion, cannot be denied. Hulk Hogan cannot be denied, yeah, except the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, because all of a sudden, I'm more important than Hulkamania, yeah, talking about Macho Madness, and that's true. And you can talk about music from different people around the country, and you can say that Pink Floyd makes you think. But you can't say that Jim Croce is the reason for living if you haven't believed it in the past. Because if it's in the past, it's got roots. And I've got roots. Yeah, I paid my dues, and I have the championship belt that I have at this particular time. And some people get something that they really want. But they can't hold on to it any longer. No, because they give it away. They ain't ready for that big chance.
Muy bien, dice que ha sentado un precedente. Un precedente. Eso es, que ha sentado raíces con su gran figura de campeón. No es ni Tito Santana ni Ricky Steamboat el campeón. Y Hulk Hogan es mucho menos cuando Macho Man se decida a ir por el campeonato mundial completo de la WWF.
Yeah, life is something funny at times, but then life can be real descriptive and then have it right out there in front of you, but then they throw you a curve and the wind blows and get bad weather. Yeah, so you don't really know what's going to happen from time to time, except you can think a lot, yeah, and you can ponder on what you're going to do to different people if you get the opportunity, and then when you got them down, you have to take advantage of a situation. And I say keep them down because somewhere later in life, they may get up and put you down and learn that valuable lesson, but I don't have to learn a valuable lesson. I've used mental telepathy a lot of times, and certain people that were in certain positions didn't understand what I was thinking, but they'll pay. Yeah, they'll pay. Yeah, they'll pay, man, they'll pay. Yeah, they will. I guarantee you they'll pay.
En pocas palabras, cuando llega la oportunidad hay que aprovecharla, y él usa telepatía más bien para lograr sus grandes propósitos. El fabuloso Randy Savage Macho Man.
Yeah, pay, man. Yeah, everybody pays the fiddler.
Wow.
Hey, I tell you, I don't speak Spanish, but I can interpret Randy Savage there.
What was he saying?
Well, I don't know exactly what happened, but he was, at that particular television taping, he was told some news that contraindicated some news that he was told before, and he's not happy about it. And then he was told, yeah, now we're doing international interviews. And what you had to do was you had to go and do your interview. Back in they eliminated the fucking translator and everything by the time the 90s came along. But in those days, besides the English interviews, the local interviews, and the different promos you do for the TV show when you were at TV all day, you get there at noon, you do interviews in those fucking rooms in the back, sometimes until midnight, except you went out and wrestled. But the international interviews, that Spanish guy, the Spanish announcer, was supposed to be translating Macho Man Randy Savage's fucking promo about his goddamn opponents or about what he was saying, what he was talking about, who he was mad at. And Savage was pissed off and didn't want to do a goddamn interview for international television where he was going to be speaking in English, and he knew this dipshit wasn't going to be able to fucking translate it anyway. And if you notice, the translator throws in a bunch of words and names of challengers that Savage had never even mentioned. And Savage is venting about how, yeah, sooner or later, a worm's going to turn the wind. You don't know which way the wind's blowing. You think one thing and then something else happened. Yeah, he's fucking pissed at the office, and he deliberately gave that translator gibberish to translate and was having fun doing it.
I use mental telepathy a lot of times. Did you have to do a lot of those? A lot of those international interviews?
Did I?
Yeah.
Well, no, as I said, they had quit doing it was unwieldy, but also the volume of interviews that we were doing in the early and mid 90s were such that they didn't have the foreign language announcers standing by there to do those stand-ups and translates. They already had 4 or 5 sometimes pre-tape rooms built in the bowels of the building in the arenas where they would take the soundproofing and the anvil cases and they would make little tiny rooms, and goddamn they were hot and stuffy. And they're only about 12 feet square for a producer and a cameraman and an audio guy and the talent in front of a backdrop. And then you'd go from one room to another doing these one was for superstars, one was for Wrestling Challenge, one was for local promos, one was for international. And by that point, you'd do a 30 or 40 second pre-tape and they would plug it into the international show, and what they did with it from there, I have no fucking idea. Maybe the announcers translated it after they played it. I don't fucking know. I don't care. But we didn't have to actually talk to the guy that was translating on camera by that point. But yeah, and see, that's the thing. It took you halfway through that thing to realize that Randy Savage was never going to make a goddamn lick of sense, because he still had that delivery and that way of saying things where it was words and you knew they were words and you figured sooner or later you'd figure out what he was talking about, right? Of course, you never did there, but Savage could say shit that didn't make sense, but he said it in such a way that it sounded like it meant something. Anyway, you know what else he was good at, Brian?
What's that? Baseball.
Grilling steaks.
Oh, and grilling steaks.
Especially as long as he didn't have to purchase those steaks. If he could just grill them instead of purchasing them. You know, the Pafos were tight with $1. But anyway, folks.
Didn't he get busted for stealing steaks in Kroger?
He did. As a matter of fact, when he was living in Lexington, he did get busted for shoplifting a steak from the meat counter at the Kroger on New Circle Road. He shoved it down the front of his blue jeans. But now there's been controversy in recent years over whether he really needed the steak that bad or he just wanted to get some fucking publicity because they had a big show coming up.
That's what Tim Tyler told me, former commentator for ICW, that it was a publicity move, although it doesn't seem like the best publicity to get this wrestler trying to steal a steak.
Well, and at least they didn't call the fucking police dogs on him like they did in Nashville at the Waffle House, because if he had the steak shoved down the front of his fucking crotch, he might not have been a Macho Man when the dogs got finished with him. But he didn't put the dogs over, and that's a Dutch Mantell story, by the way, folks. Buy all of Dutch Mantell's books. I don't know which one it's in, but the story of Randy Macho Man Savage, the recently married cowboy, the squad of Nashville Metro police officers, and the police dog that Randy Savage had a conflict with one night at the Waffle House. It's in one of Dutch's books. But anyway, you don't have to steal steak, folks. You don't have to take that big old steak and shove it down the front of your pants where when it comes out, it tastes seasoned even if you haven't salt and peppered it yet. No, folks, you can get Omaha steaks, the professional stuff, packaged and sealed and flash frozen and vacuum packed and delivered right to your door. Folks, it's grilling season of the summer, and they're offering a steakhouse grilling package from Omaha Steaks with a limited time offer just for my listeners. Go to omahasteaks.com, enter the code JCE into the search bar, and this week, Omaha Steaks adds 4 burgers and 4 gourmet jumbo franks for free with every summer grill out package order. Whether you're going for the Omaha Steaks bacon wrap filet mignon, the pork chops, the chicken, the kielbasa, more of it. Maybe it's a good thing we didn't transition from where we were earlier to this spot now. Plus, it's delivered to your door. No contact. It's in dry ice. It's frozen. Boom. You grill it. You get the goodness all over your face and in your mouth without having any human contact, folks. omahasteaks.com. Type JCE into the search bar to shop the summer grill packs today. and get 4 Jumbo Franks, 4 Omaha Steak Burgers free to complete your steakhouse experience when you order the Grand Summer Grill Out package. And I haven't seen you lately in person, Brian, but I'm assuming all of the Omaha steak products that you've been sticking down your fucking neck these days, you probably weigh about 260.
Well, the Omaha Steaks, I may get to 300 soon.
Well, now don't say that. Fuck, now you're trying to tell people that Omaha steaks are unhealthy.
No, I'm saying it's good. I want to eat everything they send to the house.
Yeah, but they ain't going to make you 300 pounds.
Well, if you don't share.
You don't, wait a minute. You eat these they send you enough in one of these summer grill out packages for the family. Are you saying you get the summer grill out package and you eat it yourself?
Yeah, let my family get their own sponsors.
Well,
I'm not sharing my filet mignon.
I thought your wife had a few sponsors. I wasn't.
Oh, that's awful.
I wasn't sure she had. I digress, but no. Honestly, folks, I'm just kidding. I'm telling a lie. You know, Brian came to me in a moment of weakness last week on the phone. He said, I tell you, Jim, I don't know what to do. My wife's cut me down to 3 times a week. I said, that's okay, Brian. I know 3 guys she cut out entirely. OmahaSteaks.com. Yes. / type J. It's not a slash.
Don't slash.
Don't slash
in the search bar. Yes.
OmahaSteaks.com. Type JCE in the search bar. Search for the search bar. Stop at the bar. Have a drink, then search for the bar. You won't be able to find it because you're drunk, but type JCE in the search bar.